Mother told me my time is restricted to 15 minutes. I said I am not going to say anything at all. That's one. If I am going to talk for 1 hour, what will you people do? Food is waiting there. Thank you all. Anne, Stafford Watts, Tony Deveshi come all the way from Blue Mountains, and Celia, after a long time, for the wonderful talks that you give. Oh, I don't call them talks. Your offerings, the offerings of your heart at the feet of Sri Ramakrishna. So well given and so well received. The way we received indicates how they were received by Sri Ramakrishna. Another thing is, would you people like to have a stand up and sit down exercise? Would you? I was a teacher. Stand up. Sit down. Once more. Stand up. Sit down. Thank you. That will help you. It helps, doesn't it? In the Bhagavad Gita, two things Sri Krishna repeats. On one we will touch, the other we don't have time. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi yuktva atmanam matparayanaha. That is the last verse in the 9th chapter, which is considered to be containing the gist of the whole Gita. And he repeats that in chapter 18. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi satyam te pratijane priyesim priyosime. The last part he changes. What's the meaning? Manmana bhava madbhakto. Manmana bhava. Keep your mind on me. Madbhaktaha. Love me. Bhakti is the word which has been blackened by all kinds of sentiments. It's a beautiful word. It's a very high word, containing very high sentiments. In Sanskrit, in India, we use the word bhakti, madru bhakti, devotion to the mother, desha bhakti, devotion to the land. Like that, in various circumstances and situations, we use the word bhakti. It does not involve any emotional outbursts, and although it was associated with the devotion to God. People think, or people who think they are rationalistic, they think that bhakti is below their dignity. They don't know what bhakti is. Once in Newcastle, when I had gone to take my usual Viveka Chudamani class, one lady came to me very angry. I don't want to hear your Viveka Chudamani. I don't know why she came then. Anyway, I don't believe in your Advaita philosophy. I said, very good. I believe in bhakti. I said, do you know what really bhakti is? Bhakti in its original form, bhakti in its essence, is far more difficult to practice than jnana, than knowledge. Because in bhakti, in devotion, you lose your freedom completely. You see God everywhere. Everywhere you see God. In jnana, intellectually you accept the fact that everything is God and then try yourself to reach that stage. Whereas in bhakti, you accept the fact that everything is God. You refuse to see anything else. It's very hard, very, very hard. Everything is God and everything has been organized by Him. And the child is sick. Won't you go to the doctor? It's organized by God. Then you should not do anything. How much surrender can you have? A small example I am saying. If you go on like that, thinking about it, bhakti is not easy. But it's beautiful. Jnana is a bit dry, that's what people say. Anyway, manmana bhava madbhakto, love me. Madhyaji, whatever you do, you offer it to me. The other day somebody was asking me, how are we to do that, Mataji? To surrender everything to the Lord. In the morning, if I say, whatever I do during this whole day, I am offering it to the Lord. It will be only a meaningless sentence. A heartfelt offering of every little thing that happens that day, I will not be able to do. So what's the meaning of that? Whatever comes is coming from God. And we pray that we be able to accept all that comes. Another thing is, with that acceptance, there is another corollary to that. And that is, with everything that happens, there will be another thing which is better that is coming. I gave in the story which I have given in this hall. A priest was going through a wooded area. He had to reach a destination on the other side of the wood. It was late in the evening. He was on an important mission. He had to reach that place before nightfall. But halfway through the wooded area, a terrible storm and downpour came. Lightning, thunder, heavy rain. And it was mountainous also. And when lightning comes, instead of lighting the whole place, it will make atmosphere darker. And wooded area, no way of even the starlight coming in. And clouded sky. Pitch dark. In the rain, he was slowly groping forward when suddenly he tripped over something and fell down, flat on his back. He could not move. And then he complained to the Lord, I was going for your mission, for your work. Why did you do this to me? I had to reach there this evening. Now you are not making me do that. And he lost consciousness. He almost fell asleep or became unconscious. When he woke up, the day had dawned. The rain had stopped. A wonderful breeze was fanning him. The beautiful sunlight, morning sunlight, coming through the leaves, was playing on his face. He lay there for some time assessing his situation. Then he remembered he was lying down on this rocky mountain. And one day had gone. Suddenly he got up. Oh, he has to go to his destination. Then he found that a huge log of wood, lay in his path. It was that fallen tree that prevented him from going forward. He climbed onto the top of the tree, and to his surprise and horror and joy, he found that the log was lying on the brink of a precipice, cliff. If in the dark he had stepped forward, he would have landed at the bottom of the ravine. He knelt and said, Lord, you are intelligent. You love me more than what I can do. You have got some very better purpose for me to do, to be done through me. Thank you for saving me. So when things go wrong, just pause for some time and try to believe, convince oneself that this has gone wrong, but there is some great purpose behind it, which I will be able to understand only in course of time. That is called Madbhakta, Madhyaji. Do everything for me. Mam Namaskuru. Surrender myself to me. literal translation is do pranam to me. What is pranam? I place my head at the feet of the holy man. Means I surrender myself to you. All my thinking, all my feelings, I surrender there. Then, it's not to be done for nothing. Mameva eshyasi yuktva atmanam matparayanaha. Mameva eshyasi. You will reach only me. Yuktva evam. Having joined yourself to me. Matparayanaha. You will become one with me. That is in 9th chapter, which is considered to be containing the gist of the whole Bhagavad Gita. But he repeats that in the 18th chapter, where the last part he says, not yuktva atmanam matparayanaha, satyam te pratijane priyosime. I am telling you the truth. Truly I tell you, God is truth. The name of God is Sat Chit Anandam. Sat is truth. Sat Chit Anandam. So I am telling you the truth. Means you don't have any place there for any doubt. Then it will be all right. Truth and God are identical. What is truth? Once in Melbourne some years ago, there was a big conference of heads of faiths from all over Australia. And in that, after the reading of the papers, there's question answer time. Then, I can't remember, I think a representative of the Jewish religion was standing there. Now after her paper, this question answer came. What is truth? The word truth came there. So what is truth? So that Jewish representative said, truth is truth. How can you define truth? Truth is truth. Big discussion. The bishops and rabbis and all of them were there. Big discussion. In the end, they asked me, what does Hinduism say to that? About truth. I said, we say truth is that which does not change with time, place and person. That is truth. So Sri Ramakrishna says, I tell you truly, if you can do this or try to do, then you will come to truth. Truth is absolute peace, serenity, Sat Chit Anandam. Sat and Chit and Anandam are one. Truth, knowledge, extreme knowledge or consciousness, and bliss or peace are one. Think of one of them. Meditate. Work towards gaining that, and all of the others will come. Swami Vivekananda says, religion is the manifestation of the divinity already in man. We look for God everywhere. Loving God is very difficult. Where is God? Yesterday I was reading an article, and the whole thing was on where is God? Theists, atheists, and non-theists, a new group in America. All these people have given their opinions. Where is God? God is here. And that's why we can't see. The manifestation of that divinity is called religion. The moment you become religious, you start manifesting that divinity. Or, once intellectually you understand that God or that divinity is in you, and you try to manifest that, you are religious. You become religious. Sri Ramakrishna lived religion. Mahatma Gandhi says Sri Ramakrishna's life was religion in religion. It is lived religion. Whatever he did, watch, study, that is religion. If you don't know about religion, study his life. In one of his biographies, it is said, there were people who questioned Sri Ramakrishna why he viewed stone and clay as God, because he worshipped in the Kali temple. And the Kali temple, the image was made of marble. So why he worshipped stone and clay as God? But Sri Ramakrishna held that such an objection was meaningless. Why should an image be thought of as stone or clay? He asked. A child does not see in its mother a frame of flesh, blood, or bones. Never does it address the mother as, "O skin, O blood, O stone," the child. In the same manner in which the child beholds the mother, one ought to behold God in the image. The man who views the image as inert matter becomes himself inert. That sentence is I like. As is our view of the world, so will be the world to us. As is our mind, so are we. So if we view the image as inert matter, then we become inert. He who recognizes life in it, himself evolves into life. It is the attitude that molds man. Remember that. It is the attitude that molds man. How long? 15 minutes? Nandu Mehta? I won't be, because of these people, I won't have time to go into all these things, but I would like to introduce to you or give to you what aspects of character that Swamiji, some of them, Swamiji saw in Sri Ramakrishna, and which we can try to develop in our lives. Only a few. He has listed the ways in which Sri Ramakrishna manifested this divinity. A few of the scintillating rays from the glorious sun are: 1. Purity of heart, love of God, serenity, love of mankind, strength of fearlessness. Did you get it? Purity of heart, love of God, serenity, love of mankind, strength of fearlessness. Did you get that? Say it. Purity of heart, love of God, serenity, love of mankind, strength of fearlessness. Purity of heart is very, very important in the religious life. We will not be able to touch all these aspects, one or two. Chuang Tzu, the Chinese philosopher, says, the perfect man employs his mind as a mirror. It grasps nothing, it refuses nothing. It receives but does not keep. And thus he can triumph over matter without injury to himself. Keep the heart pure. What happens in our lives is that we take in pieces of everything that comes across. We hear something, we keep a part of it. We see something, we keep a part of it. And so our mind, our inside has become a complete mess. Unwanted, and unfortunately, we can't go for garage sale there. Then we could go for a clean-up. Very difficult. What did he do? He became a pujari, priest. And in India even today, the post of a pujari, the office of a pujari is not looked upon as great. It is one of the paid jobs. But Sri Ramakrishna raised that to the very high level of a god, of a man who awakened the deity in the marble image, talked to her. The Mrinmayi he saw as Chinmayi. Mrinmayi means image made of stone. And in that he saw Chinmayi, consciousness, embodiment of consciousness. Other people in the temple still saw the stone image, but Sri Ramakrishna did not see. So the world is not what it is. World is to each one of us as we see it. My world is one, your world is another. I have said that many times in this hall. The world that I see is not the world that you people see. There's no doubt about that. If the world that I see were the same that you people see, then all of you would have become nuns of the Ramakrishna order. You know, you are not. You can't. You won't. Because your world is different from mine. I create my world. In the Upanishads, about creation, it is said, it's a beautiful way how creation came. Sa aikshada. Ekoham bahusyam. God looked. Did not have eyes. How he saw, we don't know. He was not a person, an entity. He looked, and the world came. With us also it is like that. The little baby opens its eyes and looks. And whatever it sees is its world. And it grows with those impressions. So I create my world. My likes and dislikes. My colors and the colors that I like and the colors that I don't like. Everything I create. So Sri Ramakrishna saw consciousness in that stone. His heart was so pure. He said, are you really living? Are you simply stone? Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people even today. If you go to the Dakshineshwar temple, you can see. Thronging there. Ma, ma, ma. The hair will stand upon your body when you hear that. With sincere hearts they call. Big crowd, and then they go like that, trying to see. Just have a look. Just have a look at the statue. There are photographs, that's not enough. One look and they feel full. They think grace has come. So a tiny glimpse we also get. And Sri Ramakrishna was not happy with that. Still we say marble image. The statue, image. He did not see the image. He saw God himself. So Sri Ramakrishna, through that accepting of the post of a pujari, taught us a lesson. Every position in the world is great. Use your position in the world as a stepping stone to chalk out your own world, a very good world. A philosopher has said, do not despise your situation. In it, you must act, suffer, and conquer. And then, from every point on earth, we are equally near to heaven and to the infinite. We are all points on the circumference. All points on the circumference are equidistant from the center. Some could be shining. Some could be dull now. But the distance from God to each one of us is the same. So do not say that the other person is more fortunate. I am unfortunate. No. Work out your own salvation. Buddha said. No. Make the best use of your situation. You can gain the end. For these great people, as Sri Ramakrishna, the whole world is a stage. That's why in Hinduism we have got a word. Even in India people don't like it. And what about in the West? And that is Leela. This creation is God's Leela. So people say, Leela means game, play. God can play and I suffer. What about that? You say that's God's play. But then, there is a saying that creation is an epic, the first and last few pages of which have been lost. We are all characters in that great epic. The great epic had been written by the Lord. Now, Shakespeare created Othello, Desdemona and all the characters and developed the story in such a way that we all fell in love with that little girl, Desdemona. And in the end, taking us to that critical point, he made Othello kill Desdemona. Why don't we say that Othello is cruel? As we say God is cruel. Othello and Desdemona are his creations, just as we are his creations. Inexplicable. Acceptance of our situation is the only solution. Don't hanker after somebody else's situation. Love for God, then I will stop. You people are, some of them are sleeping already. Rabia, the great Muslim saint, said, the love of God has so captivated my heart that there is no place there for hatred. Rabia fell sick, and Hassan and some other person, they were all saintly people. They came to see her. And seeing Rabia suffering, they said, Rabia, you have been chanting Allah, 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 Allah so long. And Allah has given this to you. Don't you hate him? Then Rabia said this, the love of God has so captivated my heart that there's no place there for hatred. And I read another person's example. All the rooms in the inn have been booked by one man. One person was bringing his whole group. All the rooms in the inn have been booked. So then another person comes. What will the innkeeper say? There's no room. All the rooms have been booked. Like that, this one man called God has booked all the senses in my body. There's no place for within me to see anything else. I love only him. I think only about him. In my world, there's only he. Manaprasada saumyatvam, sthairya atmavinigraha, bhava samshuddhi ityetat tapo manasam uchyate. In the Bhagavad Gita, mental tapas is that. And Sri Krishna gives a few things, practices to do that. First is manaprasadam, cheer of mind. Cheer of mind. If you love God, the first sign is you will be cheerful and not grumpy. A grumpy person doesn't love God. Whatever, he may be going to the temple every day, morning and evening, doesn't matter. Don't trust him. A cheerful person, a cheerful heart. God loves a cheerful heart. If you have a cheerful heart, there will be a cheerful face. And there he sits. And then there are other factors coming along with that. But this is important. Holy Mother said she had never seen a shadow of sorrow or anger or complaint on Sri Ramakrishna's face.